We're going to continue our Mars versus Venus conversation, gender balance as a single person in a relationship. We have to go over to Tobago for that. We'll be joining Carrie, Makan Hislop, and Alicia Riley for that. Carrie, you hearing me?
Yes, I am, Rishi. Thank you very much.
Well, Carrie, I want to ask a question.
Right.
And probably it could be where the conversation goes this morning. How long after you started going out with somebody do you have or begin to have expectations? How long do you wait before you think that, I expect you to do this without me having to ask?
No, I don't hedge expectations on the other person because that way you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Ah.
I think the only actions you can control are your own, and you are the one that needs to initiate certain actions and not look for something from somebody else.
Oh. Well, Makan Hislop, Alicia Riley, do you agree or disagree with Carrie?
I agree, actually. I think that persons should be responsible for themselves first. And putting expectations on someone else is a bit unfair, especially as you know, getting to know them. You should focus on yourself.
Alicia?
I think in the ideal world, that version it always sounds nice, who don't have any expectations, just allow things to run smoothly and let things flow. But realistically, women and men have expectations, and after a dating period of about 6 months, 7 months, those expectations begin to manifest in different ways. And even though we may stand here and try to, you know, propose to ourselves and say, oh no, don't have expectations. We do have expectations, and they are manifested in different ways.
Exactly. So I don't know what Carrie has been doing, but Carrie, you have had no expectations of your girlfriend?
I don't look for things. I take actions that are positive, that I believe are good for the relationship itself. And then there are things that she herself, she takes responsibility for certain things and she makes actions that I don't ask for them. I don't expect them. But when they happen, I'm like, oh, this is great.
So let me give you an example of an expectation. You communicating for the first 2 months. Every morning you would call. Every morning she might call. And that one day, that phone call does not happen. You're disappointed.
Yeah.
That in itself is an expectation.
Exactly.
So we do have expectations, but we just have to learn how to manage them.
Well, I want to let me just ask this question then, and then I'll leave Carrie to continue the conversation there. So, say for example, you're going out with a person for a period of a month, 2 months, whatever, and say one person happens to get sick. Is it okay if you get disappointed or upset because the person that you've been dating for the last month or so didn't come to visit you or offer to bring meds or whatever? Is that an unrealistic expectation?
I think it's a social setting where that courtesy is expected, especially since that you and this person are interacting in a semi-intimate setting. So you would expect the courtesy to be paid to you and that person to care. Now, how that care is manifested is another issue. That's where management of expectations comes in. So if it is that you're saying, well, this person needs to visit me with flowers, chicken soup, and I don't know, something. But let me say the person comes in with a Panadol. That's where you might have some issues. So it's okay to expect a courtesy, but not exactly how that care is shown.
Well,
Yeah, again, because we frame, things from our own mindset when we set expectations, like, as he was saying, you may have the expectation that they are going to come with soup and they're going to come with a get well card and all these things. And a pink bunny,
but some people may just want the person just to visit.
That's true.
That's true. But again, that's expectations, and that's putting your own expectations, transcribing that onto somebody else's actions. And that way you set yourself up for disappointment when it doesn't turn out exactly as you want it to be.
Yeah. All right, Carrie, let me need you to continue the
Something as simple
conversation.
as this. something as simple as this leads to arguments, huh? Because if you're dating somebody for a month, of course you would expect them to be kind and courteous to you and visit you to show that common courtesy. And when that is not shown, Makan, it leads to tension and it leads to an argument because you're saying to yourself, okay, this person have no feelings. They call us, they don't care.
Well, I would say that having expectations of courtesy and kindness from someone that you're going out with is normal. It's just to have a big enough mind to not instruct that person how they show that care or courtesy. Once care is shown and courtesy is given, I think that you should be mature enough to be like, I see that you care, and I appreciate the courtesy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And let's stay on topic a little bit. So we're speaking about gender balance for single people who are in relationships. So single on government papers, so unmarried, but in relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, as the case may be,
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah. Um, Again, I think for me it's always the outcome or the goal in mind. I think that in a relationship, the both parties should communicate where we want this relationship to go. And once both persons could really communicate that vision, we could work towards it. And working towards doesn't mean you both do the same thing. There are different things to be done, and sometimes one person will do something and the other person will do other things. But at the end, you must get to the goal.
We were speaking on that topic earlier, and you were saying, Alicia, that like going into a relationship, not a marriage. There's you go into it with a goal in mind. Tell me about that perspective.
So I spoke to someone recently and they said that they like to date with a purpose, which I subscribe to as well. Because you don't want to enter into something and you don't already know where it's heading. It's like entering into a car and you're just saying you're going for a drive and you don't know where you're going,
Right.
which to me is confusing. I cannot compute that. So one of the things I wanted to point out is that I think over time, men has lost their value to women, primarily because we were brought up in single parent homes where we see the mother fighting. We didn't have that protection. Some women, when they grow up, they were abused. So as they get older, they enter the corporate world. They lose the value that men really should play in their
So
lives.
what you mean, just to simplify it a little bit, is that the value of men has diminished in their eyes
Yes.
because of their experience growing up.
Growing up,
probably with
correct.
the absence of a father, or maybe experiencing an abusive situation.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And when they enter into a relationship, they tend to pressure test the situation a little bit more.
Right.
Because women naturally like to test men because we are looking for our protectors. We are looking for men who can, you know, just mesh with us and have, as we discussed earlier, interdependent relationship where we are working towards a goal and the man understands his role and the woman understands her role, which is the neck in the relationship and the man being the head. And we could discuss this all day
We can, because I want
where
to ask you some
men,
hard
but
questions.
let
We
me
don't have so
ask you
much
this.
time.
Would you introduce, or woman out there, would you appreciate your partner introducing you as your partner or your woman? And that in itself says a lot because women like to feel owned and they like to feel,
They like to feel owned.
yes, of course, we like you guys to own us publicly.
So I don't know. That's a little bit tricky
You
to talk
think?
about. Like to feel like owned. So like
Okay.
property owned,
No, 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 not like
or
property
to
owned,
feel like
but to feel as though, yes,
belonging.
I'm his. Yes,
Okay.
I
A
belong
sense
to
of
him. A
belonging.
sense of
Okay. All right.
belonging,
All
right?
right.
Maybe that came across a little too strong
Yeah,
because I
like
have
that
a strong
owned.
personality.
That's okay. All personalities are never wrong personalities.
What you
It's
think,
just
Makan?
everybody is just different. But I know we have to close off. But we need to continue this. I mean, hopefully I'll be in Tobago the next time we talk again.
Mhm.
But I want to thank you both for joining me this morning, and again continuing this topic of Mars versus Venus, and this time gender balance in the various forms. All right, so McCann Hislop, sportsman, entrepreneur, Alicia Riley, entrepreneur as well. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Now go back across to the team in Trinidad.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rishi. Carrie, oh gosh, I'm getting my Rishi and my Carrie's mixed up this morning. And Rishi doesn't have his mic on, Carrie, but he just exploded just now. So you will continue that conversation I am not getting involved at all. At all. I'm leaving that right
Wise
there.
decision.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We'll touch back with you before the top of the hour. But right